All right, everybody. So today's video is going to be quite a bit different than our recent videos we've been doing. This will be a reaction video. However, I've been seeing a lot in the comments, people complimenting me on bringing a positive view to the Jewish community and Judaism right now. And I think this kind of pertains to that because Kanye, as of like last week, made a bunch of these stupid tweets. I don't have Twitter, but I did see some thumbnails of like him saying something about he was gonna go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people or something like that. Um, Now I saw that he had a interview with Lex Fridman here. So this video might not be for everybody if this is a sensitive topic or you know you guys don't want to listen to Kanye. He is a little bit unhinged as of recently, but um, I did want to do a reaction to this. I've listened to a bit of Lex Fridman before. I know he's um, like an MIT artificial intelligence engineer. He I believe is a teacher there. He's also, I think he was born in Russia, but he's like of Ukrainian Jewish descent or bloodline. So he actually had an interview just yesterday or the day before with Kanye, and this part is specifically talking about, I guess, Kanye West talking about the Holocaust. So let's see what he has to say, and we can kind of break down some of these arguments.
Technology and original human species can exist in a peaceful way as long as the people that know how to make robots aren't using their robots to control the humans. Lex?
Definitely something you have to be concerned about as we become more technologically savvy. That, my friend, is why engineering isn't everything. That you have to desperately study the lessons of history and not.
Okay, so I'm guessing this clips is maybe a little bit later into the podcast. It's not from the beginning of the podcast. So we may have missed some context here. Um, but yeah.
Really study the lessons of history. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities.
Yeah.
Engineering, the same. Engineering could be a tool of war.
We're still in the Holocaust.
Excuse me? What? Okay. I'd love to hear what this guy has to say already, but right off of that statement, it's a little cuckoo, but
A Jewish friend of mine said, come go visit the Holocaust Museum. And my response was, let's visit our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood.
With all
whoa, whoa. Okay. Those are two separate things. Planned Parenthood and like an abortion clinic versus what Hitler did in those camps and to all those people just because they were Jewish is a completely different thing. One is more of a choice. Like abortion is definitely more falls under a choice to have one. There are certain circumstances. Well, before it used to be a eugenic type of thing. Sometimes you were forced to get an abortion, but now that's no longer a thing. Um, and there were certain places in the world where, yeah, I guess it was a little bit more prevalent. Like, but the Holocaust and Planned Parenthood are two greatly different things.
due respect, I grew up in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
I'm Jewish. Parts of my family perished in the Holocaust of Nazi Germany. I have to push back that there is a difference
For sure.
of the atrocities at that scale, at that time, on an entire people.
I was going to say the number, that's the difference.
It's not the number.
because
Oh, it has nothing to do with the amount of people that were killed. It was the fact of how it was going about being done. Jewish people were being targeted simply for being Jewish. Like, they were seen as less than. I don't think it would have mattered if it was 4 million, 12 million, 6 million like it was. 1 million. It shouldn't matter. Like, it shouldn't be rated on by the number.
6 million. Well, also African Americans are actually Jew also, the lost tribe of
I can
Israel.
push back on that too.
Okay,
Oh, I think he's maybe referring to like black Israelites, which, if memory serves me correct, isn't that like an extremist or like extreme side of the Judaism or Judaic religion?
so well, everyone came from Africa.
I'm African. I'm basically
Right.
African American. We're brothers.
And we're both Jew and we're brothers. So
We're human.
6 million people
Yeah, him saying that we're both Jew. Interesting. Okay.
died in the Holocaust. Over 20 million have died.
Listen, we are only 2 minutes into this, and it's already sounding so batshit crazy. But let's go on.
Died by the hands of abortion.
Sorry, what was
And
that?
the
Let's go back.
also over 20 million have died by the hands of abortion. And the media promotes the My Body, My Choice, which is actually still a promotion for Planned Parenthood. 50% of Black deaths a year is actually abortion. It's not the cop with the knee. It's not black on black violence and gang violence. It's not heart attacks. It's actually abortion. The most dangerous place for a Black person in America is in their mother's stomach.
Okay. I'm not sure of the statistics or the stats or the numbers. So 20 million, I guess in all time that have passed or, have died due to abortion. Quite plausible. Very much quite plausible. But again, it's a difference between having the choice to go through with an abortion, as most people do. As he said, my body, my choice. A lot of people who have abortions are choosing to have abortions. The cases in which people have abortions due to, um, like a sexual assault or a rape or something like that, I don't think are the vast majority. It's usually people have unprotected sex, they find out they're pregnant, and that's the way that they deal with it. That's more of a choice than, the Holocaust, where they're rounding up people and then just killing them for the sake of them being Jewish.
There's 900 to a million abortions in the United States a year. I hear
Wow. That's the number. That's huge. 900 to a million.
you. But there's something about the rape, the torture, the murder of children, women, men, the complete humiliation and just the suffering that was endured during World War II.
For sure.
That's what
It's
we
on a
deal with
scale.
on our TVs right now with Black people. Soros would use Black trauma economy to win an election.
Okay, so I think he's talking about George Soros, which I believe Soros is also Jewish. I think he lives in Germany, but I think he's Jewish.
What I love is having a healthy conversation. And as opposed to there's certain things, boom, this drops, people gonna have pussy hats on. Boom, this drops, it's gonna be, Black people and white people with signs. Boom, this drops. So hey, China, hey, left agenda, hey, what we're gonna do is say that our species can have a healthy conversation. It's
Can I just linger on this? Because when you say Jewish media, there's a echo of a pain that people feel that reminds
you're
an
saying
entire
you're saying it's redundant, right?
Okay, yeah, for sure. Because I believe in his tweet, he had mentioned something about the Jewish media keeping him down or stifling his creativity or something like that. Where, in my opinion, you shouldn't be targeting or you shouldn't be saying Jewish media. You should be calling out like who was the one that stifled you. Like call that person out. If they happen to be Jewish, that's one thing. But to label all Jews or Jewish people, the reason that you're either whatever losing deals or losing record albums or fashion shows or whatnot, it's very blanketed, and that's not a good way to look at things. Like that's like a girl who's gone out with you know a few bad dudes, and then they say all men are bad. Well, no, you just happen to go out with a few bad guys. That doesn't mean all of them are bad. you know so maybe you had a bad interaction with a few people who happen to be Jewish. That doesn't mean all Jewish people are bad and holding you down. Like,
No, I'm not saying it's redundant.
I'm saying it's redundant.
You're saying it's redundant.
It's a
I'm
redundant
saying
statement.
it's something
the same thing.
I'm saying that it's something that Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister
yep,
of Nazi Germany, said.
yeah,
I'm saying it's been said so many times in order to murder and torture Jewish people that
I
it
would,
just rings wrong.
and that's the
Just
thing.
like the N word when spoken by people that have the same skin color as me,
for sure.
it reminds people of a very dark time.
Yeah, there's some people where it triggers them just like that. Obviously saying the N-word is never a good thing, but when people hear that, I'm sure, about bundling all Jewish people under one thing, like, oh, they're greedy, or they run all of the media. And they might actually run all the media. If, like, say 85% of the media was run by Jewish people, or 30%, whatever the number may be, that just happens to be like, it doesn't mean that Jewish people are holding you down. It just happens to be that a lot of the people in media are Jewish.
No, if Jewish people would accept that I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think he's probably under the whole black Israelites type of mentality with a statement like that.
They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people, you saying you're Jewish, that
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish.
Jew.
Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're a Jew.
Blood of Christ,
That comes
Orthodox
from
Christian.
right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the black Hebrew Israelites?
See? The black Hebrew Israelites, yeah.
Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea. I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes,
Yeah.
and then tell you what it is, what
Should
the
I
whole
count?
point is.
Let's count 7 minutes.
No,
Oh,
what
do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
All over
Sure,
the
spoiler.
place.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all
And I
human.
said, and then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
Race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
What are you talking about? They shouldn't teach what? About the Holocaust in school?
History.
The history, because what schools are doing is exactly.
No, sorry. History is important. People need to learn about the history. The famous phrasing, history tends to repeat itself. You look back to history to realize that these are things that shouldn't be done. These are atrocities that shouldn't happen again. I'm not saying that people should dwell on the past, or focus all of their attention on the past, but it's good to be educated and to know what happened in the past so that you can move forward and try to stay off of that path. So again, that you don't repeat history.
What the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house. Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make.
Okay, but that kind of fabricated pain is different than the pain of the people that dealt with the Holocaust. Seeing a cartoon Disney character die, uh, it was meant. Well, I'm not going to get into why Bambi's mom died, but like that's two different things. Like you can't be comparing those or putting them within the same category.
Make us now we're the orphans of capitalism, to make us be consumers, and we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes
Yeah.
by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why I
But it's not a tit for tat. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, I have pain too, so I don't recognize your pain. It's called being empathetic for people, you know, to have that. And if you have pain, then you can be sympathetic as well to people who have suffered from another kind of pain as well. So to push aside their pain and say that your pain is more of a value than their pain, or that you don't recognize their pain because you have pain, is a stupid argument.
get to the point of putting up the tweet, no one wants to understand why I got to that point,
You had
right?
pain. You had pain.
Yeah, but
You
no
had
one.
pain in your heart.
But let's say this: undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about that pain, and Black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery. Right? It's almost impossible.
Well, because that was a big part of, like, that was a very, I don't want to say iconic, but it was a very like big moment within Jewish history that this atrocity happened. So if they have a few movies kind of mentioning it or portraying it, it's of an educational basis, in my opinion, um, for people who aren't maybe familiar with it, or so that people can get a little bit more educated on that.
To find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African
Sorry, hold
History
on.
Museum in Washington,
What
D.C.,
is this?
and Black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa.
Okay. So, okay, he has a fair point there. I believe Mansa Musa was like one of the richest African kings or something like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that I've ever really seen a movie on that or a movie on him. Maybe movies do tend to focus on the slavery aspect of what black people had to deal with. Um, but again, I don't know what the relevance is to that with the Jewish people. Like, it's two separate pains. Again, not one is better than, more important than the other, but
When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C., it doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. It starts with the idea of Africans being slaves.
sure,
But here's
okay.
another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper or, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect if we're Jew.
Oh boy.
If we're Jew, and since we are,
Yeah.
we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed.
Okay.
Africans have always said, you've listened to rap music
You can see Lex's gears going on, like him trying to follow a little bit of what Kanye's saying. I'm kind of in that same
and
headspace.
hear Black people say, we kings, we blood of the pharaohs. And if we are Jew, then we weren't. We were the people that Moses freed.
Sure. Okay.
And when we talk about, have you heard Black people talk about 400 years of slavery?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is and we're having this history lesson, right?
I thought history doesn't matter. You're exploring
Yeah, like he was been saying, I guess, that history shouldn't be taught or shouldn't be listened to, but
ancient history and drawing deep wisdom from it. And at the same time saying we need to forget all of it. We need to put that behind us.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What?
We need
You can't just put all that shit behind you, though.
to forget it, and we need to move forward.
No, you don't forget it. You learn from it, and you move forward in that aspect. You don't learn it, forget it, and move forward. That doesn't make any sense.
There's so much wisdom to draw from history. Even the
Exactly.
20th century. Look at this. Communism. Without the lessons of history of the 20th century, communism sounds like a great idea. Except
Yeah.
that some of the worst atrocities conducted by Stalin and Mao that
Yeah.
killed 50, 100 plus million people, not just killed, tortured, starvation, where people, the cannibalism, they ate each other, they ate their children.
Yeah.
There's just dark people should read some books on this, on the Holocaust
See,
in the 1930s.
but I disagree.
With that lesson, we
What do you
would,
disagree
and now it's
with?
becoming more popular.
not- I'm-
Marxism and communism.
I'm
is
not
becoming more
disagreeing
popular.
that happened. I'm disagreeing that we need to harp on the things that happened, because the truth is, I'm giving a fact.
Okay, first of all, talking about the history, again, I hate to be a broken record. It's not harping on it. It's something that is important. So yes, you're making the valid point that we should know about it, but it's not harping on it just because you talk about it.
50% today of, let's say, you don't call black people Jew, right? Black people's deaths today is abortion today, right now. Like that, it's not racism. That's too wide of a term. It's genocide and population control that black people are in today in America,
Whoa.
that is promoted by the music and the media that black people make, that Jewish record labels get paid off of, or media.
Okay, first of all, that's a little bit to unpack there. If you're somebody who believes that life begins at conception, immediate conception, then yes, the deaths of those children would be considered genocide. However, population control, I do not agree with that, because again, these people are choosing to have the abortions. Unlike, again, somewhere like China, where they had a one child rule, that was a population suppressor or control that was by the government. Like, so there's no governments here saying that 50% of black women have to have abortions. If 50% of black women happen to have abortions, that's a completely different thing. We still got like 2 minutes of this. Holy shit. Sorry for the longer video, but
Companies, record labels, a media company also. So let's give it a wider.
You know, I agree with Martin Luther King. I have a dream too.
Martin Luther
That one
King
day
was
you would not be judged
Yeah.
by the color of your skin
or your race,
black or Jew,
But
by the content of your character.
character,
All
yeah.
the assholes that fucked you over in the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry, are individuals. They're not Jews.
Exactly my point. Call out the people that effed you over. Don't say it was Jewish people that effed you over. You know?
Can you
they are Jewish.
It doesn't.
Okay. Again, them being Jewish just happens to be a fact. It doesn't mean that because they're Jewish, they're targeting you. There's somebody who maybe did something negative to you or didn't give you your proper, whatever the case may be, and happened to be Jewish. It's not because they're Jewish that they're doing that to you.
They're human with opportunities.
Human, exactly.
And they took those opportunities. I don't care if they're Jewish.
Do you feel like I should release that pain and separate it?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're saying I should release that pain and separate it, then I'm telling you, you should release your pain and separate it. And we could get to this, the list of how you are a being with engineering opportunities.
That's 100%. I see what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. The pain, I'm going to let it go. Engineering challenges. I get it.
Yikes, that was a wild clip. Okay, okay. Um, let's get these boobies off the screen here. All right. Um, well, guys, let me know what you thought about that video. I will be putting up another reaction to some music today for sure. But I just heard about, I just happened to stumble upon the clip. Like I said, I knew that there was some stuff that was talked about. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about this. Hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying it. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.